Imagine you've built a life here, home, job, family, but you're still technically a guest. One policy change, one unexpected letter, and that guest status can be revoked. There is only one way to go from permanent resident to true owner of your American future: U.S. citizenship. The problem? Most people treat the process like a mysterious black box of paperwork, and maybe someday. Today, we're cracking that box wide open. We are the law offices of Chris M. Ingram. Welcome to the very first episode of our 4-part series, The Path to Citizenship. Over the next 4 videos, we're giving you the complete strategic roadmap. No fluff, no legal jargon overload, so you can move forward with confidence. This is episode 1, The Foundation. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact math of the 3-year versus 5-year rules and the 90-day early filing trick. What good moral character really means in the eyes of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, or USCIS. Exactly what happens in the citizenship interview and test, plus real client stories and a quick pop quiz so you can test yourself. Timestamps are on screen. Jump around if you want.
Just a quick reminder, if you appreciate this in-depth content, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It helps us bring you more. Now on with the video.
You can't jump straight to citizenship, except in rare adoption cases for young children. Almost everyone must first become a lawful permanent resident. That green card you carry, it's your long-term lease on the American dream. Citizenship is owning the house free and clear. We often hear from people asking, "I'm already here on a visa. Can I just skip the green card?" In almost every case, the answer is no. The green card is the required stepping stone. Most people get it through marriage to a U.S. citizen, a job offer from a U.S. employer, or family sponsorship. Once you have it, the citizenship clock officially starts. Here's the math everyone wants. Marriage path, 3 years. If you got your green card through marriage to a U.S. citizen, and you're still living in marital union with that spouse, you can apply after 3 years. General path, 5 years. Everyone else, employment, family other than spouse, etc., waits 5 years. Pro tip, you can actually file Form N 490 days before you hit the exact anniversary. That little window can save you months of waiting. Now, we often hear the concern, what if I travel a lot for work? Great question, and that's exactly why we're saving the deep dive on travel for episode 2. But quick preview. USCIS watches 3 bands of time outside the U.S., under 6 months, 6 to 12 months, and over 1 year. Any of them can delay or even reset your clock. Hitting the 3 or 5 year mark is huge, but USCIS also does a deep background check on how you've lived during that entire time. They call it good moral character. In plain English, have you been a responsible, law-abiding member of society? No serious crimes, especially crimes of moral turpitude. Pay your taxes, or be in an official payment plan with the Internal Revenue Service, commonly known as the IRS. We know that life isn't always a straight line, which is why we focus on the whole person strategy. To illustrate how this works, let's look at a hypothetical scenario we'll call Anna's tax story. In this example, Anna has been on an employment-based green card for 6 years. 4 years in, she hit hard times and fell behind on taxes. She immediately set up a payment plan with the IRS and stuck to it. When she applied, we submitted full documentation showing responsibility and compliance. USCIS approved her good moral character without issue. Lesson: one bump in the road doesn't have to derail you if you handle it the right way. This brings up a situation we navigate quite frequently. I had a conviction for driving while intoxicated, a DUI 7 years ago. Am I disqualified forever? Not necessarily. We look at the whole picture and timing. Many clients with older issues successfully naturalize after a clean period. Always run it by an experienced attorney first. Once your paperwork is approved, you will be invited to the interview. This is where it all comes together. The test has 2 parts: English, read, write, speak, and understand basic English. Civics, 20 questions pulled from a list of 128. History, Constitution, Government, Holidays. You need 12 out of 20 correct. We know that even for those with a perfect record, the idea of a government interview can be intimidating. To show you how this actually looks in practice, we want to share the real story of one of our clients, Pete. Pete had been a green card holder for 35 years, tax-paying, law-abiding Verizon employee. Bureaucracy phobia kept him from applying. When he finally sat for the interview, the officer noticed they both worked for Verizon. They chatted for 30 minutes about the company before she even asked the official questions. Approved on the spot. Pete later asked the officer, "What's your biggest challenge with applicants?" Her answer, English proficiency. She said she has 0 patience for people who can't even raise their right hand and swear in English. Naturally, this leads to a concern we hear from many long-term residents. I'm over 50 and have lived here for decades. Do I still need to master English for this test? The answer is no. But there are specific rules. If you are at least 50 years old and have lived in the US as a green card holder for 20 years, or if you're 55 and have been here for 15 years, the English requirement is waived. You can take your interview and the civics test in your own language. Under the 2026 standards, you'll still need to answer 12 out of 20 questions correctly, but you can do it with an interpreter. For those who are 65 or older and have held their green card for at least 20 years, the path is even more accessible. Not only is the English test waived, you get a simplified version of the civics test. Instead of the full list, you only study 20 questions, and you only need to get 6 correct to pass. Finally, if you have a qualifying physical or mental impairment, you can file Form N648, the medical certification for disability exception, with your doctor to seek a full exemption from both tests. Now that we've covered the roadmap to your American dream, we want to see how much you've retained.
Let's see how you do with our citizenship pop quiz. 1. True or false? You can apply for citizenship without ever having a green card if you've lived here 10 years. Answer: false. Question 2. How many years must you hold a green card if you obtained it through employment before you can apply? Answer: 5 years. 3. How many questions do you need to answer correctly to pass the civics test? Answer: 12 out of 20. 4. True or false? Being in an IRS payment plan ruins your good moral character? Answer: false. It actually shows responsibility. 5. Yes or no? If you're 65 or older with 20 years as a green card holder, do you take the full 128-question civics test? Answer: no. You take a simplified version and only study 20 questions. How did you do? Drop your score in the comments.
Today, we covered the absolute foundation. Why you need a green card, the 3-year versus 5-year timelines, plus the 90-day hack. What good moral character really means with real client examples, and exactly what to expect on the interview and test, including helpful accommodations. You now know exactly where you stand and what to prepare next. But here's the part that trips up even the most careful people: leaving the country. In episode 2, we're doing a deep dive into the continuous residence rule. We'll show you how a quick 7-month trip can trigger a presumption that you've broken your residence. Don't let a simple mistake delay your journey. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and we'll see you in episode 2. If you're ready to get serious about your case, visit our website for a free consultation. We're here to help you cross the finish line.